I am nostalgic. I am almost homesick for the Florida that I knew growing up in the 90s. The Florida where a family could raise a family on a single income, where you could buy a home before the age of 30 and it not be a miracle, where you could get access to the VA and not have to wait months or have your claim denied, where you didn't have to compete with foreigners to buy a home or to get a job, when your country felt unapologetically and authentically yours.
Welcome everybody to the show. Welcome aboard Frontier. We are just getting set up real quick, so bear with me. You just bear with me for a second. All right, so this is our midnight segment. We're just kind of going to go ahead and spill the news as far as what has happened throughout the day and what we have planned coming up in the near future. So things that has happened today, we've had our interview with Keith Gross. He is running for Congress in the state of Florida. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You know, between me and you, I don't think he's going to watch this. Between me and you, I could have done a much better job on my behalf. I could have been more professional. I could have been more ready. But you know, it actually was going okay at first. It was going okay, and what totally threw me off of the interview is whenever we were live streaming it, for whatever reason, the desktop audio on my PC, the desktop audio was set for off. It was on mute, and so whenever he was talking in the very beginning, it actually didn't pick up anything of what he said. I have no idea why I was even off. And you guys gotta understand, I got like a ton of stuff in front of me on my like I got a monitor right there. I got my laptop right here. I have a ton of stuff in front of me, and the desktop audio is like in the very, very bottom corner of it all. And so it's not the first thing I really look at. And all I see on my end is, well, camera angle is good, and I see my audio input is capturing my audio, so I just assumed it was capturing his audio as well. Well, that's why we don't assume, right? That's why we don't assume. And I could have done better on my part to be better prepared. So all that was totally my fault, although we did still get some good information out of him. We still did get some good content out of it. It could have just been better is what I'm saying. Not saying it's horrible. It could have been totally worse. Could have been way worse, but it was all right as it was. So for two, was happened actually after the interview. So we ended up making that interview into a video, right? And basically we captured what we could and we threw in what we had, and bam, we released a video on it. And actually I explained in the very beginning of that video, let me go ahead and yeah, my audio is fine like this. So we explained earlier in that video that basically the situation of what happened with the whole audio problem, but we're already past that. Already explained it. Don't need to beat a dead horse here. Other update is we had Nico come on the show today. His name is Nico. I don't know him personally. I know of him. I've ran across him on social media. I see some things he says on social media and things that I like. I see it and I like it. I was like, yeah, I need this guy on my show. and so I let him on the show. Did not regret it at all. Guy was great. He was absolutely fantastic on the show, man. Let me tell you, he actually told me before the show started. He told me before the interview and said, I have never actually. I asked him, granted, I asked him. I said, "Have you ever been on a live stream on YouTube?" He said, "No." And I was thinking in my head, I was like, well, maybe this may or may not be a problem. I don't know. He did absolutely phenomenal on camera. He did great. And let me tell you, I don't mean like that is not to be, offending anybody per se, right? Because I've had people come on the show before. I've had people come on my channel before in general. I don't know. It's really weird whenever I call it my show. I mean, it is my show. To be fair, it is my show. But I don't know. I've never really said my show before until I started doing this kind of content. I don't know. I like the way it sounds. But anyways, before we started this particular show, interviewing people, having a political show, as you guys know, as all the OGs know, it was a gaming channel, right? That's all the OGs right there for you. During that gaming channel, we've had excuse me, we've had a few instances where people would want to come on and they'd be shy, they'd be super camera shy, they wouldn't really talk a lot, and I had to kind of keep them a little bit active. Generally, people who has not been on any sort of stream, who has not been on social media, they will freeze up. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to talk in front of a camera. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Whenever I first started my channel years ago, I mean, this specific channel that I'm streaming on right now was started years ago. And actually, matter of fact, let me get an exact date for y'all. But I started this channel years ago. And whenever I first started this channel, man, let me tell you, I hated. And by the way, this channel was created in 2019. This channel is 7 years old. 7 years old. I have been doing YouTube for 7 years. And actually, we are starting to gain a lot in views. We're starting to gain a lot in subscribers. Within the past 2 weeks, really, we have gained more subscribers than we have ever gained throughout our entire channel history, which really excites me. Just really shows me that people are really into the content. They really support the agenda. They really support that what we are doing here. And by the way, it's not what I'm doing here. It's what we're doing here. Without your support, I wouldn't be doing this, okay? I have 280 subscribers for a reason. Because those 280 people, and take a room, right? People say, oh, well, 280 subscribers, it's not a lot of people, man. That's not a lot of people. You look at channels with 10,000 subscribers, and even some would say 10,000 subscribers is not a lot of subscribers. People would say, oh, well, where you start to really kind of get big is whenever you hit 100,000 subscribers, which I agree with you. But take this, right? Take a room, take a house, take anything. Try and fit 280 people in a single house. You can't. You can't. Matter of fact, 280 people, that's more for like a mega church right there. A mega church. That is how many people believe in my content. That's how many people actually has invested in me. That's how many people has willingly gave me a sub. That's how many people want to continue to see me doing my content. So, within the past 2 weeks, we have seen significant channel growth within this channel, which is great. It's absolutely fantastic. But back to my original point of what I was talking about, though. We had Nico on the show today. Great dude, fantastic dude. I shot him a text yesterday, and I believe it was yesterday or the day before. It was one of the two. And I shot him a text, and I was like, hey, I would love to have you on the show. And he agreed to it. He was like, yeah, I would love that too. And I didn't know this until today. I asked him today. I was like, hey, before we started streaming everything, I was like, have you ever actually been on a live stream? Have you ever done anything as far as social media? He was like, no, I haven't. That right there, I first heard it and I was like, well, this might be a little bit of an issue, right? No, this dude, he came out here carrying on a conversation better than anybody else throughout the entire channel. Better than anybody else. This guy was awesome. And if you're listening, Nico, you did great. You did great. And I would love to have you on again coming up here soon. So what we're going to kind of tag into for this show is I kind of want to tag into kind of like my idea for the channel in the future. And what I mean by future is within the next week. I need you guys to throw down some suggestions in the comments, in the chat, whatever it may be. I need you guys to throw down some suggestions to have on the channel as far as interviewing, whether it's just talking casually, interviewing for as far as wanting to learn. I don't care what it is. Ultimately, this is up to you guys. If I'm not gonna lie to you. So I was actually scrolling through YouTube today, and I came across a podcast on YouTube. They have 2,000 subscribers, which is just quite a bit, right? 2,000 subscribers. And it's called the UVP or OUP podcast, whatever it is. Anyways, someone's calling my phone, but the podcast is literally just a podcast about UFOs. Who is calling my phone? Guys, give me like 2 seconds here. I will be right back. So I want to put y'all on the starting up scene.
I am nostalgic. I am almost homesick for the Florida that I knew growing up in the 90s. The Florida where a family could raise a family on a single income, where you could buy a home before the age of 30 and it not be a miracle, where you could get access to the VA and not have to wait months or have your claim denied, where you didn't have to compete with foreigners to buy a home or to get a job, when your country felt unapologetically and authentically yours.
Okay, we are back, guys. We are back. Let me go ahead and pause the music. So it was actually Bowden calling my phone, so we're going to probably invite him on the Discord here in just a second. Totally forgot what I was even saying in the first place. Totally forgot. I'm going to go ahead and call Bowden, give him a little call, see if he wants to join us live on the stream. Yo, don't say anything outrageous right now because I'm streaming.
Okay.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's going fine. You called. I saw that you were calling, so we're live right now. But I just switched the scene to starting up scene. Now I'm on main scene again. So everybody can hear you talk. Was there a reason you were calling?
Yeah, I just wanted to say what's up.
Oh, is that literally it?
No, I was gonna see if you're ready to play this game or not, but
okay, yeah. I will be ready after I'm done streaming. Which I'm not gonna lie to you, it may be a little bit because I can talk my absolute head off.
Yeah, I know. Well, talkative little boy, I guess. But no, it's alright. We're gonna me and Sinbad are just gonna run it's just be S2 on it for now, just to mess around on it.
Sounds good.
Just whenever you're ready, let me know, bro. Good
Sounds
luck
good.
on the nightly news.
Hey, did you? Yeah. So I have every single night now. I'm doing my thing. I just title it Midnight Segment episode yada yada, and every single midnight I just do midnight segment, and I just talk my head off every single time. But anyways, did you watch that stream I did earlier with a guy named Nico?
No, I didn't get to watch it yet. I listened to some of it. I saw the first 5 minutes, and I got distracted. I'll probably listen to it on the way to work or so tomorrow because I just like listening to podcasts and whatnot. But it's 37 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I listened to the first 5 or 10 minutes. We're talking about RP.
He's
RP
pretty
Jr.
cool. I'm not gonna lie. Chill. Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I invited this guy on the show. And he said he has never done anything live on social media before. He's never did YouTube. He's never did videos. He's never done anything like that. And I did not expect this guy to be as good as he was. This guy was phenomenal. He kept the conversation going and going and going and going. And we were conversating back and forth super naturally. The flow was so natural. And it's really hard to find people like that.
Yeah, he seemed very, very intelligent. I like the way he presented himself.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go so I can continue babbling.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, I will definitely hop on that game with y'all in a little bit. Hey, the first map, are y'all doing the hotel map first?
No, we're gonna redo the one we did yesterday. Hotel is that's the hard one that we're gonna do together. But me and Savannah are just gonna listen.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. If y'all want to go ahead and just hop on right now and knock out the whole office map, y'all can go ahead and do that because there's no way. I actually have to wake up at 5 in the morning, so I can't even be on my stream for that long. I'm gonna be on here for a little bit, but it cannot be like absolutely forever though. So if y'all want to go ahead and just knock out that office map, and you can shoot me a text on Discord and say, "Hey, we're going to head into the hotel," then I would be more than happy to hop on.
All right, that sounds good, man. I'll let you know.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, bro.
All right. How nice of him. How nice for him to join in the stream. Had nothing to do with him wanting to be in the stream, but it's all right. It's all right. How many people are watching right now? Let me see how many people we have watching. I honestly don't care. Oh, one person watching. I don't care. I'm just curious. But anyways, totally forgot what I was saying, man. Valden, how dare you? How dare you throw me off course? He started calling my phone, and by the way, my camera for the whole stream is actually my phone. And I got a whole tripod set up right here. And the camera on the tripod is my phone, and my phone's connected to my laptop, and my laptop is, or my phone's casting the camera to my laptop and everything. It's whatever, right? But my phone is my camera, and then I had to like completely get up and go around my desk and find out who's actually calling my phone. And I was like, who the heck is calling me at like past midnight right now, bro? Anyways, oh well. So yeah, we're going to start having these midnight segments like basically every single night. And people at home, the OG subscribers on the channel, you know me, I used to do a lot of gaming content, right? And I remember with that gaming content, I would say, "Oh, well, I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. I'm going to try to stream tonight." And I would keep saying that and saying that, but I would never end up streaming, and I would put it off for like 2 whole weeks, and eventually I would stream, and I would say, "Oh, well, I'm just getting busy, yada yada," right? Or in all reality of it, I just did not enjoy streaming gaming really. And now since I have a whole setup here, dude, like I really enjoy this kind of channel. I really do enjoy this. And believe me, there will be a lot of upgrades to come for this channel. A lot, a lot. Matter of fact, I plan on doing some upgrades tonight again for next stream tomorrow. And I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Probably have our midnight segment tomorrow, and that's kind of it. Um, we won't have like a midday segment. We'll just have a midnight segment tomorrow. And yeah, Sunday we won't stream Sunday. But coming Monday though, we are back in the game. We're back in the game. The only days I'm not willing to stream is Sunday. There may be some days where I stream on Sunday, and that's probably if I'm like absolutely bored out of my mind and I have nothing better to do. I have nothing better to do, excuse me. I have like the hiccups right now or something crazy like that. So anyways, what was I saying originally? I totally got off course. Oh yeah. I plan like for all those people who are the OG subscribers who say, "Oh, well, you've promised all this stuff in the past." Well, I actually am serious about streaming like every single day. Like expect to see these episodes go into the thousands. Like I don't plan on stopping these at all, like whatsoever at all. This is going to keep going and going and going. And if you are watching right now, you're early on it. You're early on. Right now, we're on episode 14. We already got 14 episodes. Let's see. Matter of fact, we have a lot of great people planned to come on the show in general. And if you go to our channel, and I'm viewing at our channel right now, 280 subscribers, right? All right. Just today, so our first ever interview we did with anybody was besides Bowden, yada yada, was a mayor candidate for Jacksonville, Florida, Glenn Van Owen. We had that interview, 644 views. After that, our next interview was with the Florida governor candidate, Brandon McIntyre debate. Really, I should say, actually, the first person who came before Brandon McIntyre would be Glenn Keane. Mr. Glenn Keane is running for county commissioner in District 4. And then after him, it was Brandon McIntyre. And after Brandon McIntyre, we had Keith, what's his name? We got Keith Gross. I don't know why I just said that. Bro, my mind's like going blank right now. I'm starting to have a brain fart. Anyways, we had Keith Gross on the show today. Then, even though the whole Keith Gross thing, I like Keith Gross. I really do like him. But man, I wish I would have done a better job for that interview. Hey, we got some sort of content out of it. That's a good thing for us, I guess. But we got that. And then we also did Nico today. So our channel is heading in a good position. And aside from all these interviews, aside from all these people we talk to, we also just do things like this basically every day where I'm just talking to you. I'm just the host talking to you, the viewer. So, anyways, yeah, basically though, dude, let me tell you, as far as channel upgrades though, let me tell you, I have a whole thing planned for this channel. Like, obviously, I've already invested a lot of money in this channel as it is. We got a whole green screen. Not just a small green screen, by the way. I'm talking about this thing's huge. This thing covers my wall behind me. We obviously our laptop. We've been having our laptop, right? It doesn't matter, right? But we have our laptop set up. We have this very, very, very nice microphone, by the way. We have the proper LED lighting around us. And we actually do have a 4K camera for that tripod to actually have a stream on YouTube. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. The only reason I'm using my phone for the camera setup right now is because I do not know how to completely work that expensive 4K camera I got for my YouTube. I have to go on YouTube, watch all these tutorials. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The only reason I'm not streaming with it is because I don't know how to use it. I'm just being honest. So, but our phone camera works just as good. Obviously, the camera quality it could be better, but it's still pretty good overall, though. It's not like horrible. It's very bearable, is what I'm trying to say. Let's go ahead and jump on X real quick. I want to skip that topic. I'm not talking about that topic tonight. There's a video I saw where it's an IDF soldier from Israel, an Israeli soldier, who basically look, you guys know me. I don't care for the whole Palestine crap, right? I'm not for Palestine. I'm not for Iran. I'm not for Israel. I'm literally for America only. I'm America first. And there's a video, though, of a Jew, an IDF soldier, Israeli soldier, throwing Palestinian children off a building. I was going to get into all that crap, but the reality of it, though, is you guys know how I feel about it. So I'm not trying. Look, maybe tomorrow, maybe another day. I'm not digging into the whole Israel crap tonight, bro. It is way too late at night. I am way too tired for that. I just want to keep this more so a chill episode, which I think I'm doing pretty well. We haven't actually got into the whole, we haven't started talking about Jews. So we haven't started talking about the juice box. And I think we're doing pretty good managing ourselves right there. Did you guys see where Randy Fine, he is a congressman in Florida. Randy Fine, and I would love to get Randy Fine on this show just to call him out on his bull crap, bro. But Randy Fine made a post basically going against foreign illegal invasion, right? Basically all these foreigners moving from their country to this country, our country, the US, right? And he condemns that, which I am 100% with him. I absolutely condemn Muslims. I condemn Buddhists, Hindus. If you're not a Christian and you're not coming from a good nation, you should not be going to the U.S. A matter of fact, I would actually go as far as to say, I don't want anybody coming from any country to the U.S., period. I don't care where you're from. I don't care. No exceptions. I don't care. I'm America first. We need to keep America American. And that's just how I put it. That's how I think. That is what I believe. Plainly. Nothing can alter that. Nothing can. And people may say, oh, well, what about, people coming from Germany or France or Sweden or UK? Look, they have their own problems at home. And the matter of fact, this I would go as far as to saying this. I've said this before. I'll say it again. For all these people who leave their country because of the fact that their country's not a good country, how about you stop running away from the problem that your people created and you fix it? Because maybe that country might actually be a desirable place for people to move to, for people to stay in, if you would actually stay at home in your home country and fix everything around you, fix your surroundings, be the change in your country. Stop running to the US and bringing your problems with you. So that's pretty much what I'm feeling about it. Right? That's pretty much how I feel about it. But going back to the Randy Fine thing, this guy has came out and absolutely, he's condemned people from foreign countries moving to the U.S., which, as he should, I totally agree with him there, right? That is something that me and him can both agree on. But where I disagree with him on, and I got to show you guys this. This is absolutely insane. I'm actually going to show it on the live stream here in a minute whenever I find it. But this guy is crazy. This guy literally had an Israeli flag in his office. This is a congressman. He has the American flag, right? He has the American flag. Like, he has American flag right here. He has Florida flag right here, and he has Israeli flag right here. Why? This is not Israel. This is the US. And just as you wouldn't, like, if you were a politician in Mexico, for example, right? And let's just say you moved to Mexico from Costa Rica or Cuba, wherever it may be, just because you are an immigrant. And look, this guy's not even an immigrant from Israel. All right? I haven't even begun to get into that part. But I'm just stating an example, okay? If you are a politician in Mexico, you're not going to have any other flag on display. You're going to have the Mexican flag, right? You're going to have the Mexican flag, and whatever the only other flag you may have in there is whatever the territory is, whatever the territory's flag is that you're within. For example, we're in the state of Florida. We would have the Florida flag. I don't know what it's like in Mexico. I don't know how their territory system works. I don't know if they have separate flags, which I'm sure they probably do for their territories. I mean, I know the Middle East does. So do we. So it would not surprise me. I know the UK does. Right? You have the Wales flag. You have Scottish flag. You have all sorts of stuff like that. Right? Yeah, those things do exist. Anyway, so this guy, he claims to be America first. He claims to be MAGA. And they're like, oh, we need to make America great again, right? But the majority of the issues that they're focused on has nothing to do with America's issues. It has nothing to do with America. The only thing it has anything to do with is another country. And here, I still got to find this picture for y'all so y'all can actually sit in here and watch this. And it's actually crazy. It's absolutely wild to me. Randy Fine office, Israeli flag, Israeli flag. And here it is right here. Where is it? Bro, where? I was actually just showing this to my aunt earlier. And why is it not showing it? Okay, so this is it right here, right? And this is it right here. But it's not actually letting me enlarge it for whatever reason because Google is being stupid. I'll tell you what I can do, actually. I can do this. I can download this image and just show y'all basically just show y'all this right here. So I'm going to do this. Yeah, yep, you. Okay, this is it right here. You should see it on my screen now. So I have it on the right side of me right here, or right here. And the image, this is a tweet from somebody. And by the way, the guy who is sitting down, that is Randy Fine. He is the congressman in the state of Florida. He is a congressman in the state of Florida. So, as this guy says, I don't know who James Lee is. I don't know who this guy is who's tweeting this, but he says, quote unquote, America First Patriot, Randy Fine. So you see the Florida flag kind of over here, tucked in the corner, right? Or I don't know if y'all can see my mouse cursor, but you see the Florida flag kind of tucked in the corner on the right side, and you see the Israeli flag just kind of like more in the middle. And matter of fact, here, let me zoom even more into this photo so y'all can really take a look at it. What is that in front of the Israeli flag? What is that? That's the stupid Israeli Hanukkah Jewish candle. Has nothing to do with American culture, has nothing to do with American tradition or values. It doesn't even have anything to do with Christian culture or Christian values. It's strictly Jewish. And once again, for all you people at home who think what I'm speaking, who think that what I'm talking about is just pure hateful, who think the way I say things is pure hateful, or the reason I say things is pure hateful, keep in mind, these people, the Jews, they actually teach in their quote unquote holy book. I had to move him back for his sorry. But they teach in their quote unquote, holy book, the Talmud, how Jesus is burning in hell along with his mother Mary. It's not a Christian religion, is it? Matter of fact, if the Muslims said something like that, you would be all about that. You would be constantly condemning the Muslims, but you don't. You don't condemn them for that anyway, right? At least I can give the Muslims this. They don't think Jesus is burning in hell. They don't think he's the son of God either, right? They don't think that Jesus is the son of God, but they still think that Jesus is in heaven because the fact that he was a prophet, right? He was a very much loved prophet is what the Muslims believe that Jesus was. I totally disagree with that, right? I totally disagree with that. Jesus was the son of God. He was God in the flesh. As a Christian, that is a necessary thing to believe. But the Jews don't believe any of that. Matter of fact, the Jews does one even worse than the Muslims. Because as I said, the Muslims at least believe that Jesus is in heaven. The Jews, no. The Jew says that he's actually burning in hell along with his quote unquote adulterous whore Mother Mary. This doesn't sound like a very Christian group of people. This doesn't sound like a great ally to the U.S. What are we thinking? What decisions is our leaders making for us to go down this path to support these kinds of people? It's sickening. So you have people like Randy Fine who put America last. They put their state last. They put Florida last. This guy puts the state of Florida last. Our channel's name is Florida Frontier for a reason. We are the frontier of Florida. We are the people who ultimately makes the decisions, who ultimately, I guess you would say, we are the pioneers, kind of, is how you would say it. We are the pioneers. We are the ones who are going to lead Florida in the unknown in the future. And the way we're going to do it is by electing our officials. This is why you see me constantly interviewing people like running for county commissioner, running for mayor, running for Congress, whatever it may be, because these people who I interview, besides Brandon McIntyre, he's a joke. These people who I interview, I want to get them out to you so that way you can make your own decision. And look, you don't have to be stuck with the whole MAGA crap. You don't have to be stuck with the endorsements that has provided by Trump. You don't have to be stuck with that. You can go a different route. Nobody's saying you have to go the route that Trump tells you to go. You remember, you're Trump's boss. You're the one who got him elected. He works for you. You don't work for him. He works for you. And when he's sitting there sending our young men and women to die for Israel and Iran, that's not him working for you. You're working for him. Matter of fact, you're working for Israel. You're working for Netanyahu at that point. You're working for the Jews. So, with all this stuff being said, though, we also have to think about who we elect. Not based off of endorsements, right? Screw the endorsements. Look, just because I tell you who to vote for, whenever I tell you to vote for James Fishback, Whenever I tell you to vote for Glenn Keane, whenever I tell you to vote for this guy running for mayor, don't take my word for it. Don't take Trump's word for it. Don't take the governor's word for it. Don't take anybody's word for it. Go do your own research. Who do you like better? Who do you think best benefits the state? Who do you think best benefits the country? The reason why I think that it is a good change to have in Columbia County to vote for Glenn Keane, for example, District 4 County Commissioner. Look, I spoke to him twice. And one was over the phone, and the other was on this interview, on the channel for the interview we did with him. So I'm not gonna lie to you, right? The thing about Glenn Keane is he is a normal guy. He is not. I don't think he's corrupt. Okay. Here's the thing: people who often run and have the same position over and over and over again for county commissioner, something small like that, just on a county level, on a city level, those individuals are often corrupted because they're a part of a good old boy system. Glenn Keane, nobody knows who he is. Matter of fact, it took a lot of digging for me to find out who Glenn Keane was, and the only reason I even found out who that guy was in the first place is because I was actively looking for other people who was running against the current leadership. And then I came across Glenn Keane. I came across a Facebook post because I actively looked up for the opposing side. Excuse me. I actively was looking it up. I came across him on Facebook post. Glenn Keane running for County Commissioner, District 4. He's not my district. And nor do I care. But it still has an impact on my life over here, though. Even though I don't live in the same district that he's running for, it still has an impact. I'll tell you why. Because the reason that there is separate county commissioners for a single county, the reason there's like, what, 4 or 5, I think it's like 5 county commissioners, is so that way it comes to a vote. When a decision wants to be passed forth through the county, all the other commissioners, they get together, they get in a room, and they have a meeting about it, and they say, hey, these are the things that we want to get pushed past, or at least the state does, or the people does, whoever it may be, and they come together and they put it on the vote and they say, hey, do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? They all vote on it, and if the majority of the county commissioners vote yes, then hey, it gets passed. If they vote no, then it doesn't get passed, or either way, right? It doesn't matter. Here's the difference between Glenn Keane and all the other people. Glenn Keane is a down-to-earth, normal guy just like me and you. Glenn Keane, he grew up he grew up in construction. I imagine he grew up in construction. He's been doing construction for, I think he said 20 years, if I remember correctly. Might have been over 20 years. All right. Might have been over 20 years. That's somebody we need to have in office. A normal, down-to-earth guy who is not a politician. Just a normal citizen is who we need in office. And I'm not talking about some random Joe who works at a Starbucks or some random Joe who works at a Walmart. I'm not talking about that, right? Could there be good people who work at Walmart who could be a good fit? Maybe. I don't know who works at Walmart. But what I'm talking about, though, is blue-collared men, right? Here's the difference between people who work at Walmart versus people like him. The people who work at Walmart, they're not blue-collar. And what I mean by that is, yeah, do they work every day? Sure. Do they probably live paycheck to paycheck and they work their butts off every single day to be able to get that paycheck at the end of the week so they can just continue living? Sure. Yeah, I'm not denying that they don't have a hard life. I'm not denying that they're a hard worker. What I am saying, though, is roofing is a tough job. Construction is a tough job. This guy's been doing it for over 20 years. Apparently, nobody knows who this guy really is. He just, out of nowhere, up in the mud, came up and was like, yeah, I'm running for county commissioner. I prayed to our Lord, and our Lord told me I should probably do it. So he did. And I look at that, and I say, yeah, this is probably a good change that we need. Our current leadership in Columbia County in Florida is so corrupt. It is so bad. Nothing gets done. And I agree with him. Look, this is not just things that he's telling me, right? Matter of fact, I haven't even spoke to Glenn Keane since our interview on the channel. And I have always seen this. I've always been told this. But most importantly, though, I've always seen it, though. I have seen the corruption within Columbia County. And what totally just totally just saddens me to see that every single election with our county commissioners, with our city council, with our people running for mayor, whoever it may be, they just keep getting reelected, reelected, reelected to do the same old thing. And that same old thing is doing nothing. So everybody they see a normal guy like Glenn Keane, and they think, another politician, right? This guy's gonna be like all the others. We probably shouldn't vote for this guy. But in all reality of it, though, is these same people who say that they'll end up voting for the same guy who's been in office for the past 8 years. And the guy who's been in office for the past 8 years, he's not doing anything. This guy's probably taking vacations as long as 2 months at a time, and he's probably going in there like every now and then, making sure the building's not on fire. And you have guys like Glenn Keane, who is running for District 4, by the way, as a Republican in Columbia County as county commissioner. He's running as a Republican. Not that that matters, because we should vote for candidates based off of ideals, not party or endorsements. So, but you have a guy like Glenn Keane. He comes along. Normal guy says, hey, I want to run for county commissioner. Basically, people ask him, it's like, okay, well, what kind of experience do you have? Well, for one, he was a business manager for over 20 years or something like that. For two, does it even matter? And this is not him saying that. This is me saying that to you. Does it even matter the experience he has? We're talking about something small, like on a county level. We're not talking about governor. We're not talking about president. We're not talking about Congress. We're talking about something small on a county level. Does it even matter what his experience is? Because whenever it comes to something small like that, I would rather vote for somebody based off of how they live their life, whether they live their life Christ-centered or not. If they know business, especially like this guy, he's been a business manager for over 20 years. I don't think he's disqualified from the job with some experience like that. And people look. As a matter of fact, we actually were going to have Rocky Ford on the show. I got in contact with Rocky Ford now. Totally different district, right? Not running against Glenn Keane or anything, nothing like that. Rocky Ford is District 2, and I was going to have him on the show and talk to him for a little bit about the corruption in Columbia County. And look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is me coming from me, and I don't want to spill a whole bunch of information here, but he kind of said he didn't want to talk about the corruption in Columbia County. Why? I don't know. I could not tell you. He said he did not want to talk about the corruption in Columbia County. No idea why. And look, I don't know Rocky Ford. For all I know, actually, what I see from him on Facebook is actually pretty good. I don't dislike Rocky Ford. I think he's all right. But when you're not willing to step up and actually fight against the corruption that you see happening around you, when you're not willing to step up and talk about it and publicly come out against it, publicly criticize it, and show the people that you think and that you know this is wrong, and you tell them it's wrong. You be an actual leader. Being an actual leader is not just by making decisions. It's also about calling out things that are wrong when necessary. And so, what I see from Rocky Ford is generally good. I think he's doing an all right job as county commissioner. And that's not to say he's not trying, right? I'm just saying there's some decisions I don't agree with, right? Obviously, we're not going to agree with every single thing that a politician does in their office. But I would go as far as to saying this, though. Rocky Ford's issue. I think he governed all right. I think he governed well. I think he made some good decisions on some things. But my only thing about him, though, is he's not willing to call out the corruption. he's not willing to actually come out publicly and speak about it. I invited him on the show probably a week ago, and if I recall, he said something like he would think about it, he would look at it, and I asked him, I was like, okay, well, do you want to talk about the corruption? If so, and then he was like, oh, I'm kind of lay low on that. Why? Why would you want to lay low on that? It makes no sense to me. If something is bad, you call it out for being bad. You don't make peace with evil, you destroy evil. Our Lord commanded us to be the salt and light of this earth. We're not supposed to hide away the bad things. We're supposed to be the salt and light of this earth. That's part of our mission as Christians. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and kind of switch the topic here a little bit. Man. I'm kind of getting a little tired right now. Has Bowden texted me at all? No, he has not. So I imagine they're probably still playing their game or whatever. It's all right. It's totally all right. Totally fine with me because I can, of course, babble more and more and more. And I'm not going to end the segment for probably a little bit more. So anyways, did you guys see where people actually started asking Byron Donalds questions? And it was crazy. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's put that. I just ran across a crazy post. Let's go ahead and put that whole topic to the side for now. Let's put that top was folded up, put it in our back pocket, and let's just save it for next episode because we just came across some gold on X that I totally forgot even existed today until just now. And so I'm not sure if you guys are super familiar with this whole thing happening right now, but for one, my nose itches. Why is my nose itchy? For two, did you see the tweet that Donald Trump has tweeted either today or yesterday? It was absolutely wild. And this photo just reminded me of it. It's Tucker Carlson sitting, writing a report on Fox News or something like years ago. Like, this is a picture of Tucker Carlson from forever ago, whenever he was like younger. And anyways, dude, it was crazy. So basically, Tucker Carlson made a documentary called The BB Files. Now, I'm not sure of all the exact details of everything, right? But I do know this part for sure. Tucker Carlson made a documentary / movie called The BB Files. Basically, The BB Files revealed a lot of the corruption between Donald Trump and Israel and Netanyahu. A lot of it had to do with Netanyahu. It's literally titled BB Files, which means, the files of Netanyahu. And so Netanyahu it exposes all of his corruption essentially. Of course not all of it, right? Because there's going to be a lot of corruption that exists that we'll probably never even know about, but it was a vast majority of it. And so Donald Trump came out and actually, after he released all this good stuff, and Donald Trump came out. Let me go ahead and pull this screenshot up of him actually talking about this. Okay. So I'm going to read this to you guys, and let me go ahead and just for one, I'm just going to go ahead and save this image. I'm going to pop it up on the screen, and I'm still going to show you guys. I'm still going to read it out loud, but I'm just going to show you guys the actual tweet itself. Let me go to image. There we go. Image. All right. So here it is right here. This is it. And I'm going to zoom it in about right there, right? So I'm going to give you guys a second to actually talk about that. Let me go ahead and put this stuff on this side actually. So I'll give you guys a second to read that. But as you guys, if you want to pause it and read it for yourself, you can, because you're going to have to bear with me here for just a split second. I'm not the greatest reader. I know how to read, obviously, but I kind of stutter a lot whenever I read. That's all right though. But I'm going to try my best to get through it. I stutter a lot in general when talking. So let's go ahead and begin this. So this is coming from Donald Trump on Truth Social. He says, "I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 stated sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it, their family knows it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off of television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV. Nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some quote unquote free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks, quote unquote clicks, because they have a third rate podcast, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Not hand flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man, and when he got fired from Fox News, he never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man. Oh, this is gold right here. Y'all just watch. Y'all just listen. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Okay, well, let's go ahead and pause right there for just a second, and we'll continue after. Have you guys seen the First Lady of France versus Candace Owens look? Okay, hold on. I'm not into black women. Like, that's just not me, right? It's not a racist thing. It's not the fact that I hate black women. I'm just not into them, right? Same thing as I'm not into dudes. Although I condemn homosexuality, I think it's disgusting. It's totally unbiblical. It's totally unchristian. But I'm just not into black women, all right? I'm just not into them. I'm into white women. It's just not for me. It's not my taste, right? You know, I'm not in the milk chocolate. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the white chocolate, all right? All right. So, anyway, so I don't know, but I'll say this though about Candace Owens. Candace Owens is not an ugly individual. She's not ugly at all. And I'm going to show you guys the First Lady of France. If you have not actually seen a picture of her, if you do know who I'm talking about, I'm sorry for advance. She's pretty ugly. I don't mean to show you again, but let me show you the First Lady of France. First Lady of France. Yeah, okay. So, and by the way, the reason why Candace Owens claims that the First Lady of France is a man, I'm not going to lie to you, there's actually some evidence to it that supports it. It totally supports it. And I could totally see it. It's crazy. Absolutely wild. So, I'm not going to lie, there's not many pictures on here that does the First Lady of France any justice. And there's not going to be much that does any justice because she's just not beautiful in general. Okay. I don't mean that in a real mean way, but this is it right here. This is the First Lady of France. Let me go ahead and switch this image out for you guys. Behold the First Lady of France. This is the First Lady of France, by the way. I don't know her name, nor do I care to know her name, but that's the First Lady of France. And Donald Trump is saying this lady is far more beautiful than Candace Owens, and he says it's not even close. This guy is delusional. This guy is out of his mind. Like I said, I'm not into black women, right? It's not my thing, but the First Lady of France, more like the first husband of France. I'm just saying. All right. I'm with Candace on this. I don't care for Candace Owens in a lot of ways. I don't agree with Candace Owens in a lot of situations, but this is one of those events where I'm finding myself in agreement with her. That's totally a dude. And look, people may say, "Oh, well, you know, you're just being mean. She's an old lady. She's, out of her prime." No. Look up the young pictures of her, of him. And I swear that thing has been transgender its whole life. I swear. Somebody made a video. Candace Owens actually showed it earlier on her show today, of because she was reacting to Trump attacking her on Truth Social, and she put up a video where the First Lady of France was in like a bathing suit or whatever, and she had her top covered up, like a shirt on or whatever, and with like a bikini bottom. Not the place where SpongeBob lives, right? But just like the bottoms for a bikini, and it looked like it's I'm totally, but Google or YouTube. I'm talking about walnuts here, right? But it looked like real walnuts. I'm talking about it looked like walnuts was inside of that bottom piece, and it was sagging and it was flopping around, and it was just like a dude. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And so, anyways, moving on to the next subject here, right? Moving on to the next topic or the next phase of that, the next scene. I find myself in agreement with Candace Owens. And matter of fact, I still have to read you guys the rest of Trump's statement. So here we are. He says, actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman. There's a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. And then so Donald Trump, his other half of this says, or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things Alex Jones says that I question, okay? I'm not saying Alex Jones is wrong. I'm just saying I question it. But I'm not trying to give Trump any sort of credit, but let's just continue on. Who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have. Now, that's evil to say. For his horrendous attacks on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't know much about this situation right here. The whole Sandy Hook shooting victims, I don't know anything about that. So I don't know what this all entails. I don't know what Alex Jones says. I don't know what Trump's stance on it. I don't know anything, so I could not actually speak on that part. But continuing on. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news, CNN, the failing New York Times, and all the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers, just trying to latch onto MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie, Trader Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning, and strength is not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that, but I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world, President Donald J. Trump. So there's another thing I actually totally forgot to read, and let me see if I can find it in here. Okay, here it is. Yep. Here it is. So it's talking about Candace Owens accusing the First Lady of France being a man. Going back on Trump's statement, this is exactly what he said word for word on. He said, quote unquote, crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful than Candace. In fact, and it's not even close. So let me go ahead and exit out of this. So Trump, if you notice in all of his paragraphs, right? Trump is supposed to be the leader of the free world. Trump is supposed to be very pro First Amendment. Trump has always been known for speaking his mind, saying what he wants to say, when he wants to say it, how he wants to say it. Trump has always been known for being the leader whenever it comes to the First Amendment. So has MAGA. And I don't know why, guys. My nose is really itchy. It's just the allergies. But so now the roles has totally shifted in society. Now you have Donald Trump coming out here. And look, whether you agree with Candace Owens, whether you agree with Tucker Carlson or you don't agree with him, whether you agree with Alex Jones or you don't agree with him, look, I don't care. Frankly, I don't care. But what I will say, though, is whenever it comes to Candace Owens, Donald Trump is quite literally saying Candace Owens is in the wrong for accusing the First Lady of France of being a man, for being transgender. And therefore, he's saying, okay, well, since you're accusing the First Lady of France being transgender, she's suing you right now, and I hope you lose all your money. Isn't that against your ideals? Isn't that against your fundamental beliefs, Donald J. Trump, President Trump? Isn't that against your beliefs? And for all those Trump supporters out there who support Donald Trump to this day, who support the whole Iran war, who support Donald Trump on every single thing he does, who is still diehard MAGA, right? Can't you at least agree with me on this? Can't you at least agree with us on this? Donald Trump is no longer pro First Amendment like he used to be. I mean, heck, even Trump's cabinet, like Ron DeSantis, right? Now, I'm not saying Ron DeSantis is exactly Trump's cabinet, but Ron DeSantis is very closely associated with Donald Trump. DeSantis wants those future positions. DeSantis wants to remain on good terms with MAGA. Man, I need a drink. So, DeSantis wants to remain on good terms with MAGA. So, what does DeSantis do? I love DeSantis. If I had to give DeSantis a grade as far as how he did for with governor, I'd give him a C plus. Or I mean, not C plus, A plus. I think DeSantis did a fantastic job as governor. I'd give him a 98. I'd give him an A plus. Totally pass in my books. But here's DeSantis' problem, though. The only problem he has is he tries too hard to be accepted by the MAGA movement. And what I mean by that is, yes, he has came out and criticized Trump. Yes, he has came out and actually ran against Trump in 2024 in the presidential candidacy. Yes, that is all true. But DeSantis has now recently been trying to get on the MAGA good side of MAGA, and he went to Israel and signed a hate speech law towards anti-Semitism in Israel for the state of Florida. He went to Israel and signed a law, and let me pull this thing up for you guys, actually. But he went to Israel and signed a law in Israel, in a whole another foreign country, not the U.S., not in the state of Florida. Look, nowhere in the U.S. He went to a whole separate country to sign a whole new law for the state of Florida, stating if you are anti-Semitic, meaning anti-Jew, if you are anti-Jewish in any sort of way in the state of Florida, you can actually be charged by it. You can be charged for it. Does that sound very First Amendment? Does that sound like freedom of speech? It's not. Look, whether you agree whether it's okay to have certain beliefs or not, right? Look, I don't agree with liberals. I actually despise liberals. I hate the far left. I absolutely despise them. They're creatures that has crawled from the swamp. They're nothing but just nasty, disgusting animals to me. I hate and despise the far left. I do not think we should deprive them from their freedom of speech. I do not think we should charge them. I do not think that we should throw them in jail because of the fact that I don't agree with them on their views. And so this is what we have that's happening now in Florida right now. Is we have Ron DeSantis, who is coming out and kind of trying to get on the good side of MAGA, so that way he can secure the win in 2028 for president. And because we all know DeSantis is going to run again in 2028. We all know that. J.D. Vance is going to run in 2028. It's going to be a super interesting run between J.D. Vance and DeSantis. It's going to be really interesting. Man, my nose is bothering the crap out of me. So we have this whole situation laid out. And for all you MAGA supporters out there, you can agree with me when I say this is very anti-First Amendment. This is evil. This hurts America down to its core. This is against everything America has ever stood for. Whether you agree whether anti-Semitism is good or not, whether you think it is or not, we can both agree that it should not be outlawed. So, anyways, my allergies is bothering the living crap out of me right now. I'm going to go take some allergy medicine. I'm going to go ahead and head to bed because tomorrow I'm going fishing That's totally just a complete change of subject right there. I'm sorry, guys. I totally just changed the subject out of nowhere, but my allergies is bothering the crap out of me right now. But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. We're going to leave on that note. I know we left on a very open-ended note, but you kind of get the gist of it, though. So anyways, as far as tomorrow, though, there will be a midnight segment for tomorrow, but it's going to be at midnight, of course, hinting the name midnight segment. We will not have a midday segment at all. We're not going to have an episode tomorrow, like a full-blown episode, unless it's our midnight segment, like how we would during the middle of the day. Anyways, thank you for watching Florida Frontier. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Man, my nose, bro. Please consider subscribing to the channel so that way you can keep up with future content that I do and you can support me as a creator in the future. And now, if you like the video and you like what you're hearing, go ahead and like the video so YouTube puts it on your For You page even more so you can receive more of my content on your page. Anyways, this is Florida Frontier. Thank you for tuning in. And y'all, I will see all of y'all later on.